We're here today at the African Museum Casa de Moro out at 2471 Congress Street in San Diego, California, down in Old Town, visiting with Professor Ambers, the great historian on all perspectives of African culture in different areas. As you walk into the museum, you have an opportunity to see different things from different regions of Africa. There's paintings and posters, beautiful collections of posters that you can purchase. You have African wear, African memorabilia. Everything in this part of the museum is for sale. There's nothing that you can think about that was created by people of African descent that you would not be able to locate and gather here and purchase. The experience is beyond any experience that you could have in San Diego. The first room, as I stated, is filled with different artifacts for purchase. There's also clothing available for sale, some historic African American garb you may also be able to purchase. There's actually some very wonderful items available at this particular moment for out on the town. If you need sandals, they have sandals. If you need handbags, there's handbags. There's wonderful art that could be hung up in your home. If you're into African masks, there's no shortage of that here. Then, as you walk into the museum, the first room that you walk into is called the U.S. room, which provides you with over 500 years of history of the Americas, Latin America, South America, and United States. If you're truly interested in a history lesson, this is the place you wish to come. There's posters for sale. There's pins for sale, memorabilia. There's a wall here that gives you information about the first migrants, the first African American migrants into the San Diego area, first settling up in Julian. A great deal of Julian used to be owned by all African Americans in the beginning, back when they were doing the gold mining. Julian has a wonderful history. And then, as you can see, again, musical instruments for sale. All types of different things. This is still the Latin room. And then you come into this room, and this is the African room, which provides 6,000 years of African history from all the different countries on the continent of Africa. This is truly a place of intrigue, intelligence, and dynamics. If you could imagine every aspect of history and all the things that have happened over 6,000 years, and you just having one person talking to you about each of the places on the continent of Africa, this room provides that very thing for you. And Professor Ambers, who is the curator of this museum, gives a wonderful, wonderful tour that is like no other historic place in San Diego. Again, this is the Africa room. Okay. And the Great Hannibal right there. And he also has collector's items, things for purchase. Okay. And we will go down. Oh, sorry. King stools. All different ones. You know, no king is a true king without his own king stool. You could actually get fabrics here as well if you are a sewer and you want to make your own garb. And we will go into the Americas room. Well, you can't think about Black history of America without first thinking about the Negro Baseball League. So you enter the room with that, you know, poster giving you a grand welcoming. And then, of course, you have to deal with the Buffalo Soldiers that, you know, had a great historic history. And then things that people don't realize. Black inventors. Basically, you can't get through a day without touching something that someone of African American descent did not make. Okay. The history goes beyond anything that you could possibly gather. If you were coming to visit this place, I would say you would need 3 days. You want to come one day and deal with the African room and get a full detailed tour of that room. Then you want to come another day and do the Americas room. And then you want to come to this room, the Black History room, which has over 500 years of historic information regarding the history of Africans in America and all that we have encompassed and done while being in this country. Again, the Black inventors. Then you have one with the women, and then one all collectively. These are excellent things for your children to know and have in their rooms. Something to, you know, give them a greater perspective on who it is that we are and what it is that we have accomplished. Because these very things, there goes Bessie Smith, these very things are not even discussed in the schools anymore. They would much prefer, you know, keep going over their same history and not look at the dynamics of what it is that we as a people have contributed to this society. I know, the Old West, what we did to tame the lands and conquer the places. Then you have, of course, sports and how much we've been a part of that whole historic perspective of the Americas. He has sports memorabilia here for sale, baseballs, autographed basketballs. Look, there's even a picture of Pele back there, you know. The first female Buffalo soldier, William Jennings. It was a woman who portrayed herself as a man just so that she could be a part of the great historic battles of the Buffalo Soldiers. I played her one year up in Julian. Professor Ambers goes up to Julian each year, 4th of July, in the parade, and does a rendition of the Buffalo Soldiers, the great historic Buffalo Soldiers, and all that they did for the Americas. This is just a small glimpse of what the museum has to offer. And my suggestion would be to take the time and come on through. If you're in San Diego, it's easy to reach. You can get here by trolley, bus. It's in a great location, Old Town, San Diego. And I can assure you, you'll go home with a wealth of knowledge about what you've seen and what you've been exposed to. Again, it's called Casa de Moro. It's on 2417 Congress Street down in Old Town. You could take the Orange Line, I believe, down here to the Old Town stop, and it's only a couple of blocks away. We look forward to anybody coming through. The price for adults is $5 per adult and $3 per child. And we also do groups, and as long as you call ahead of time and notify us so that we can book space for you, and set aside a separate tour so that you can be given the guided tour by the great Professor Ambers, then you will definitely enjoy this opportunity. The telephone number for the museum is 619 222.
Uh-oh. Back up. 619-220-0022.
619-220-0022. Everybody is welcome.